Here is Michael Annett from Des Moines, Iowa. He is currently 6th at a 50-80, and the first of the open teams that have to time their way into the race. There are 5 of them. Riverside, California's Josh Wise, 51-57. Going to be a tall order for him to make the field. Bobby Labonte, past series champion, is our next qualifier. Has 1 pole in 44 starts here at Talladega.
Brother Terry drove this car quite a bit for Frankie Stoddard, and now Bobby's moved into the seat, and Bobby's a good restrictor plate racer.
Yeah, I love seeing Bobby come back and run some races.
This will be the second start of the year for the 2000 champion. He is 4th.
Not bad.
And here's Matt Yoakum with the Daytona outside pole sitter.
2 corners away from scoring another Daytona 500 win back in February. Always the optimist, Matt Kenseth. Can you better your 4th starting spot here last fall?
I don't know. It doesn't matter much.
Of course, here, qualifying is everything.
Yeah, I mean, you'd always like to be in the pole. If you're not, you'd like to be up front and hopefully have a fast Camry and stay up there somewhere. So if there is a wreck, the more cars you're in front of, the better chance they have of not being in it, obviously. So we'd like to have that track position. We'd like to be able to keep it. But really, not to get the finish. We haven't had very good finishes at the plate races here the last couple of years at all. Probably a lot to blame for that. So hopefully we can have the speed in our car we need. Not so much. Don't worry so much about today, but tomorrow, and hopefully I can do the right things and try to keep it up front.
Thanks, Matty. Vince?
With Denny Hamlin, the Daytona 500 winner, also won this race here a couple of years ago, and I'll tell you how worried about qualifying he is. He was just talking with Ricky Stenhouse about his golf swing. So, what is the significance of qualifying here in your mind?
Well, it's less significant than anywhere else for sure. Even the Daytona 500 is probably a little bit more important. This racetrack here, it is so wide, you can make a lot of moves. And then really, the pit stop selection is not crucial because 9 times out of 10, there are green flag pit stops here and you're pitting at different times. So it's definitely not as crucial, but trust me, we would like the prestige of winning a pole at any racetrack. So it gets you into that unlimited at the beginning of the year, so that's what we're aiming for.
Thanks, Denny. Mike?
Thanks, Vince. David Reagan's Toyota struggled to find speed. He is 8th of 10 right now. The 2013 winner here from Georgia.
Yeah,
here's Earnhardt Jr.
He just laid down a pretty good come to the green lap here, 57.74. That's the quickest I've seen. We'll see how that relates into his qualifying lap.
I'm not sure I agree with Denny Hamlin. I think qualifying is important here. I know that we get 3 wide and we see cars come from the back up to the front. But Earnhardt Jr. really fought hard for track position in this race a year ago to win this race. And if you want to try to stay out of trouble, I think you want to qualify well and maintain that track position.
Earnhardt has 6 Talladega victories. He's never started on the front row here. Top of the chart, 49.85 is the fastest lap so far.
Yeah, very nice. And you saw his hands, how little movement he puts into that wheel. That's important.
Hands off. Whoever will have you slow down the back. We cannot help you stop in the pit, so we'll be ready for you.
Now, later Larry McReynolds will explain what Junior needs to do to get that car back and stop, hopefully without using his brakes, which would create drag on that next run.
And I know that's important because we've always put that don't touch your brake sign on the dashboard here for years, but I never knew how important it was and how much drag there is until we see what Larry, his demonstration here a little bit later.
Well, as well as when we go back to Daytona, I'm pretty sure that the 88 used the brakes after round 1, and when it was time to go round 2, it seemed like he didn't have the speed that, say, the 24 and the 20 and a couple others that did not use those brakes.
Well, Earnhardt's stay on the top of the pylon may not be very long. Here is Brad Keselowski in a Penske Ford. He had a better get up to speed lap than Earnhardt. And Keselowski looking for his first front 4 start at Talladega. He's there, 49.83. He beats Earnhardt by 2/100ths of a second. Now remember, this is to advance to the second round. These times do not count toward the pole, but the fastest 12 in round 1 will advance to the final round.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise. Great job by them. With that Penske Ford. We keep talking about Chevys and Toyotas here, but I think that team has something to say about it.
Well, you think about Logano. I mean, he's always been good here. He won here last fall. I we can count those
Well,
guys
those
out.
guys race extremely good.
Yes,
No
sir.
doubt about that.
Eric Almirola from Tampa, Florida, driving for Richard Petty in the Kings number 43. His biggest racing influence, his mom. Her father was a racer, so from a very young age, Eric was at the racetrack, and that's what he wanted to do. And it was his mom shuttling him from Little League to the racetrack all those years to help make him the driver he is. And she's always cheering him on. I just say anything bad about the 43er, you will get an earful.
I just love to watch the driver's hands, though. They're so steady, so smooth, no abrupt movements, just trying to keep that car as free as you possibly can.
Now, in the race, when we go to this shot, which is a great shot, by the way, you're going to see his head moving a lot.
And those
Because
hands
he's going to be looking in that mirror about every second.
The hands will be busy, too, but the cars, in the turbulence, they move around a lot.
Fifth for Almirola. Now, he does have a front row start here at Talladega when qualifying was rained out. He's also qualified third here. Here's Tony Stewart's car, and Tony came back last week, returned to the Sprint Cup Series. His back healing up after that off-road accident, driving a sand rail out in the dunes back in January. But they've decided that for this, his second race back, Stewart will start the car and give way to Ty Dillon. They've also decided to have Dillon qualify the car, so when Stewart gets in it on Sunday, he'll have to drop to the back at the start of the race. But Stewart said in an interview yesterday, this whole car is all set up, seat, controls, everything for Ty Dillon, who will run the bulk of this race.
Well, that's who's going to be behind the wheel. If they're going to win this race, they're going to do it with Ty Dillon. So I think that's smart to just build that car around him, give him the confidence and all the laps he needs to go out there and get the job done, because that win will be crucial if they can get it.
Fourth for Ty Dillon. Now, under NASCAR rules, the driver who starts the race is the driver of record, no matter what happens after that. So yesterday, they practiced the driver's swap that will take place on pit road during the race's first caution flag.